Men, we can't get pregnant, so hey.
Hi, Matthew Flush. We did the research about, the fact that men can't get pregnant, and I hate to tell you that you're like 100% wrong. Like, 100%. Like, coming from a trans man, I can get pregnant. So, looking pretty dingusy right now, huh? Little dingus, little silly, a little transphobic even.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That's yeah, men cannot get pregnant. The fact that you have to place the trans in front of the man would suggest that you're something other than a man. But what do I know? What do I know? Maybe I'm just transphobic or whatever word that they want to make up to try to insult me with. But hi, welcome to another episode of A Couple of Hoosiers podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Kurtz.
I'm your co-host, Charlie Goldsmith.
And boy, do we got some stuff to talk about today. Anybody see that balloon flying around? What's going on with that?
My grandkid let one go the other day. Is that what you're talking about?
That could be what I'm talking about. But no, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I got some information about the ongoing battle for the abortion case in Indiana, and then also Indiana Republicans are releasing all these bills that the left doesn't like because we don't want to mutilate children. But the big topic.
We'll teach them sex and transgendering in school. That's okay.
But yeah, the big topic is going to be the
mind mutilation. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No. You go ahead.
Mind mutilation. That's what it is. I'm sorry. That's all I wanted to say.
No, but yeah, that China balloon floating around has everybody talking about it. So, of course, we're going to talk about it. Of course, but first, let's go ahead and run this ad. Let people know where to find us. So A Couple of Hoosiers podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, pretty much anywhere that you get your podcast. We live stream on Odysee, sometimes YouTube, upload to Rumble and BitChute. But the place that you can get everything all in one spot is coupleofhoosiers.com. There's blogs for some of the episodes. I've been slacking on it, whatever. R&M Kurtz Woodworks, though. Me and my wife have a small little woodworking company. You guys can go check us out on Facebook. Get a hold of us if you want us to do anything for you. And yeah, also, if you're on the Facebook, go over here. Like us. Do it. Follow us. Stay up to date with what's going on with the podcast. Unless you're just not into the whole Facebook thing, which I don't blame you. Also, if you have not yet, go over to rumble.com, search up A Couple of Hoosiers podcast. You see that 15 followers right there? We need to get 10 more, and we can start live streaming to Rumble. We need some more places other than YouTube, because YouTube is kind of a bunch of jerks. Matter of fact.
Not kind of.
Piss off, YouTube.
Piss on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, but let's go ahead and start getting into it. Let's get into it. Hold up. Let me check something out real quick. I want to make sure everything's running smoothly. Let's go over here. Here, let me just go ahead and hop over here. Let's see what Biden's been up to. Everybody's saying that he's doing, well, not everybody, but there's still some people saying that he's doing a great job. I don't get it, but maybe this might be one of the reasons why they like him. I don't know.
Are they really saying he's doing a good job?
Oh, yeah. Tons of people are coming out like, he's doing such a great job. He's bringing all these jobs back, and he's done the best at the job rising. operations in the past 60 years. Whatever the hell they're getting paid to say, I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. He's cutting
I'd like to see one of their paychecks.
Me too. Let's go ahead and
6 months of talkings, $500,000.
Something like that. They're always you got all these guys on Twitter that are constantly, talking him up and saying what a great job he's doing, and then you also see them like at the White House all the time, going there to collect their check.
Not real sure
allegedly.
Where
Let's go ahead and see what he's doing.
Today, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is proposing a new rule to lower credit card late fees. Right now, credit card companies charge an average of $31 whenever you can't pay your bill on time. Today's rule proposes to cut those fees from $31 on average to $8. That change is expected to save roughly $9 billion a year in total savings. The bottom line is this: these unfair fees add up. It's a basic question of fairness. And with the help of the folks in this room, we're going to keep building an economy that's fair, an economy that's competitive, and an economy that works for everyone.
You know what's fair?
Not getting a credit card.
Or if you are and you're going to make this agreement that, you're going to pay it at a certain time, you should probably do that. That would be what's fair. That would be what's fair, but
I would say that they're infringing on credit card businesses, honestly. Because, it's a business that's ran. You sign a contract when you get the card saying, yes, if I don't pay this on time, I will happily pay this late fee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will take your APR and I will deal with whatever it is you're going to give me because I have this little plastic card in my hand now.
But, everything that I see coming from, like, the Democratic platform is just to devoid anybody of any sort of responsibility. And this just goes to show more of it because, late fees are unfair. I'm surprised it didn't say. Stop raising! Well, let's go ahead and keep on going. What's going on in Texas? I just saw this and I was flabbergasted. What are they doing?
What in the hell? Is that trash?
Yeah. They're dumpster diving for food. And none of these people really look all that homeless. Yeah, I don't know what was going on down there. I did see like one explanation apparently with the winter weather, like they're having a lot of power outages and all that stuff, and food is just getting thrown away. So people are like, well, I'll still eat this, and I don't know. It's crazy to see stuff like that happening in America where people are dumpster diving. Like,
dude, shit like that's been going on forever. Like all these fast food restaurants, you think they give that shit away when it starts getting the shelf life? Mm-hmm. No. They throw it away. That's a lot of wasted food. Mm-hmm. I've said it for a long time. America is one of the most overfed and undernourished countries in the world.
True.
I see people buy a cheeseburger, take 3 bites out of it, and be like, all right, I'm full, and throw it away. Like, dude, really? Mm-hmm. You don't even want to save that for later, maybe? Or, that was like $5.
Nowadays, yeah, it used to be like $3. Now it's like $5, $7, $8 for a burger.
You ain't even got a dollar menu at places anymore, dude.
Nope. All right, let's keep on going. So yeah.
Instead of passing all this stuff, what they should do is start incorporating things into schools to teach people how to balance checkbooks, how to save money, how to, maybe even work the stock market instead of leading that into college.
Honestly,
you go to college to learn that.
Honestly, I remember when I was in high school, they were doing something kind of similar to that. Like we had like this checkbook or whatever that we would like fill out, and they were like teaching us all about that stuff. But I I highly
But
doubt anything.
It was
like
a vague, it was a vague short class though. It wasn't like intensive, you know, and that's like something that you're going to use for the rest of your life. When you get paid from your job, when you go to do your taxes, they don't teach how to do taxes in school.
Well, I mean,
You know
some
what I mean?
some things need to be taught by the parents, but I mean, I don't
I
want to
agree,
depend
but-
come like solely on like state funded people and programs to like teach everything, because that's where, you know, they start putting their spin on how they want their country to be ran. And I'd rather we like
No, I'm
teach the
talking
future
basic
generation.
mathematics. I'm not talking about really the government getting into it. I'm saying the funding to these schools so they can properly teach our kids
Well, that
how to
would,
become successful, you know.
that would be government.
Okay, but they're still giving money to the school and letting the school decide
Yeah,
how
I
the
say
money
shut
is
down all
spent.
public schools.
Huh?
I say shut down all public schools.
Education is good. It's just not being used properly, I think, in my opinion.
True.
Education is meant to learn things, and it's just more of a manipulation anymore than it is anything else. They're basically manipulating people into who they want them to be when they grow up now, you know.
Could be the whole reason why they was all set up in the first place is just social indoctrination.
I mean, you could be right, you know, to
Well,
teach
let's
what's
speaking
not
of
true, but in our eyes.
speaking of school, I mean, we've talked about this before, how like they've been trying to like put these inappropriate, to put it mildly, books. Things are going crazy. I'm hearing sirens.
Sounds like it. I think there's something happening down the road.
Uh-oh. But no, like they've been trying to put these inappropriate pornography books into schools, into the hands of children, and like people have been saying don't do that. Well, down in Florida, Ron DeSantis is implementing all these bills, and you know, he's saying that they can get felonies now for doing that. And some school released this video.
Oh, this is funny.
I got questions.
How much child porn do they have in there to remove all them books?
That is what I want to know, because the way they framed it, they said that, like, you know, they're banning books and they're banning history because you can't teach about CRT and all that stuff. And I'm just like, how much of your guys' books was filled with all that garbage that you guys had to throw away every single book? Every book?
Yeah,
didn't
whatever
have, like,
happened
a
to the
single-
books when I was in school, like Shel Silverstein, you know, the poem book, the Light in the Attic or whatever it was.
Yeah,
you
I know what you're talking
and
about.
stuff like that. You know, what happened to those books? Those weren't like sick in any freaking way. Why'd you
Right.
have to take them off the shelf?
I honestly think that they're like over exaggerating.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure.
Like what's actually going on, because I mean it all comes down to like that, because that's exactly what they did when they first started releasing these bills. They started calling them the Don't Say Gay bill, even though it has nothing to do about.
They probably have like a
Say-
transgender principle or something like that, you know.
But I mean, when you look at those bills, like you could also refer to them as the Don't Say Straight bill, because you can't talk about like straight sexuality either. I'm just saying.
Like I said on many episodes, dude, sex has no place in schooling at all.
Completely agree.
Health class and learning about the reproductive organs and shit like that and how they work is a whole nother ballgame than the teaching about, you know, how to give a blowjob to a gay guy.
Right. All right, let's go ahead and start getting into some of these articles. We got some news for Hoosiers out there. You know, gotta keep the Hoosiers informed. That way they know what's going on. Let's go ahead and get into what's going on with abortion in Indiana. Oh, good morning there, sir.
Morning, Rick.
From wishtv.com. They have I believe they're located in Indianapolis. They have a lot of fun articles always coming out that I like to read, you know. But this one, Indiana lawmakers file more abortion legislation amid court challenges. So, good morning, deplorable Steph. So to set the stage,
Good morning.
last year, Roe v. Wade was overturned. States started changing up. Some states started changing up some of their laws on the abortion cases, and Indiana was one of them. And they effectively made it to where abortion would be illegal in all stages except for rape, incest, up to 10 weeks, I believe, which I think is plenty enough time to get it taken care of, even though I don't agree with it. But also if like the health of the mother was at risk, which I got issues somewhat on that because most of the times that they're talking about it, they're kind of being disingenuous. But let's go ahead and see what's going on now, because it's still being challenged, and I want to talk a little bit about like who brought up the challenge in the first place, because that they tend to leave that out. So Indiana lawmakers file more abortion legislation amid court challenges. So Republicans on Monday said they likely won't act on any further abortion legislation until the courts rule on the state's near ban on abortion. Their comments came as hundreds of anti-abortion activists marched on the State House for the first March of Life in Indianapolis since last year's Dobbs versus Jackson ruling and the subsequent passage of a near-total abortion ban in Indiana. The ban is on hold due to a lawsuit claiming it violates the state's constitution's right to individual liberty, and a separate challenge through the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. For now, abortion in Indiana is still governed by the state's old law, which allows abortion for any reason up to 20 weeks into pregnancy. Senator Shelley Yoder, a Bloomington Democrat, has filed legislation to keep it that way. She said her constituents have been devastated and angry since lawmakers enacted the ban. The bill is unlikely to get a hearing in the Republican-dominated General Assembly, but Yoder said it was still worth filing. So yeah, the way that they set this up and the way that they talk about it, everybody's so angry and devastated about it. But who started it? Who started this whole challenge to the near total ban on abortion? Well, these guys. Satanic Temple opens new abortion clinic to kill babies in ritualistic abortions. Because let's go over here to their website.
Wow.
One of their
ritualistic abortions.
One of their tenets or their big things that they fight for is the satanic religious reproductive rights. Consistent with our tenets that call for bodily autonomy and acting in accordance with the best scientific evidence, the Satanic Temple religiously objects to many of the restrictions that states have enacted to interfere with abortion access. TST is taking many steps on behalf of our members and those who share our beliefs to establish exemptions from laws that do not promote the health and safety of patients and violate our conscience and beliefs. The Satanic Temple is committed to supporting its LGBTQAI+ members. Bodily autonomy. Alphabet people. Gay. Bodily autonomy has been a central pillar of the Satanic Temple's mission since its founding. TST trans members of any age who need support, as well as any other member who feels targeted or marginalized, may contact us at rrr@thesatanictemple.com so that we can provide counseling and assistance. And this is how they refer to their whole views on abortion. They refer to it as the religious abortion ritual. Kind of weird. So the Satanic Temple's religious abortion ritual exempts TST members from enduring medically unnecessary and unscientific regulations when seeking to terminate their pregnancy. The ritual involves the recitation of two of our tenets and a personal information that is ceremoniously intertwined with the abortion, because prerequisite procedures such as waiting periods, mandatory viewing of sonograms, and compulsory counseling contravene Satanist religious convictions. Actually seeing what the baby looks like. They don't want you doing that. They have a problem with that. Those who perform the religious abortion ritual are exempt from these requirements. They can receive first trimester abortions on demand in states that have enacted Religious Freedom Restoration Act. So let's get into this, just to set the stage on who these people are. The Satanic Temple isn't just promoting the killing of unborn babies and abortions anymore. It's actually killing them through a new religious abortion practice in New Mexico. On Wednesday, the Satanic group launched a new religious medical services arm, TST Health, to begin doing abortions. The Satanic Temple believes aborting unborn babies is a religious ritual and compares it to communion or baptism for Christians. The name of its first telehealth abortion practice doubles as a covert death wish to U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, who wrote the decision that overturned Roe v. Wade last year. The Samuel Alito's moms, so they literally named the abortion clinic after Samuel Alito. Classy, guys, classy. The Samuel Alito's mom's Satanic Abortion Clinic in New Mexico will offer abortion.
That's like some child shit, dude. Right there.
Like I've gone into these people like several times. Like, sure, if you want to say that people can believe what they want to believe, fine. I don't care. But these people are not I would not classify these people as a religion. Like, even if you want to say that, sure, Satanism is a religion, fine. These people, in my opinion, don't fall into that category because everything that they do is just childish, political actions. They're more like a political action group, in my opinion, because everything that they do has to do with politics, like everything. And it's all childish stuff, like, oh, the Christians have the nativity scene during Christmas, so we've got to put up a Baphomet baby statue next to it because equal rights. Okay, so they will be offering abortion drugs to women ages 17 and up who are up to 11 weeks of pregnancy, according to Fox News. The FDA does not recommend abortion drugs after 10 weeks. In 1950, Samuel Alito's mother did not have options, and look what happened, said Malcolm Jerry, co-founder of the Satanic Temple, in a statement. Prior to 1973, doctors who performed abortions could lose their license and go to jail. The clinic's name serves to remind people just how important it is to have the right to control one's body and the potential ramifications of losing that right. According to a press release from the group, anyone in New Mexico seeking to perform the Satanic Temple's abortion ritual will be able to receive free online medical services. Licensed medical workers will screen patients during a virtual appointment and then prescribe abortion drugs through pharmacies that will mail them in a discreet package, the group said. Women will be charged with a pharmacy fee of about $90, it continued. The Satanic group also set up a 24-hour abortion hotline. So, yeah. So, just so people understand, after Indiana passed its near total ban on abortions, it was the Satanic Temple that got together, and they were the one who started challenging the ban and got a judge, and I can't remember exactly where the judge is in Indiana. I don't know, but they got a lower court judge to agree to challenging the legislators on this. So now it's up in arms, and they still haven't came to a conclusion of what they're gonna do. But I just want to remind people that that's who That's who's behind all this. Because, yeah. Also, a really cool thing about the Satanic Temple people is that they want to get involved with the schools.
Oh, God, no.
After School Satan. The After School Satan Club is an after-school program that promotes self-directed education by supporting the intellectual and creative interest of students. Educating with Satan. The After School Satan Club does not believe in introducing religion into public schools and will they don't believe in it. If they are a religion and they're calling it the After School Satan Club, seems a little contradictory. I don't know. But, yeah. Okay, so we'll only open a club if other religious groups are operating on campus. ASSC exists to provide a safe and inclusive alternative to the religious clubs that use threats of eternal damnation to convert school children into their belief systems. That's what happens when you let Protestants do stuff. Weirdos. Unlike our counterparts who publicly measure their success in young children's professions of faith, the After School Satan Club program focuses on science, critical thinking, creative arts, and good works for the community. While engaged in all these activities, we want club goers to have a good time. And they even have a nice little video to talk about, you know, their school programs. Let's go ahead and take a watch.
Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell. Science is important, so we understand the world. Satan looks for truth. Let's help him, boys and girls. Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why.
Rick just said ASSC. If you say that out loud, that's asses. Good one.
He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell. Everyone is different, and that's okay with Satan. He'll always treat you equal, whether you're black, white, or gay. Satan's not a scary guy. He wants you to share and to be kind. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell. When all is said and done, Satan doesn't actually exist. He's an imaginary friend who can teach us how to live.
Wow.
Satan's not a scary guy. He wants you to share and to be kind. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell. Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and...
Okay, I think you guys get the picture. Oh, but yeah.
Was that a deep voice that said "Hail Satan" after that one part?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're lovely people.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it.
Let's go ahead and get into the next topic, because this I had talked about before in a previous episode, how Indiana Republicans were possibly going to be introducing legislation this year that the left was equating to the Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. And I absolutely love it, and I wanted to push it right through because this stuff needs to happen. But let's go ahead and check it out. From them.us. Indiana Republicans introduced 3 new bills to erase LGBTQ plus people in schools. Advocates have dubbed it the state's Slate of Hate by
Wow.
James Factora. Yeah. Hey, look at that. It's the Indiana Capitol building. What the? Queer people talk about sex beyond the... What the hell? Degenerates. As the nationwide legislative assault on trans children continues, Indiana lawmakers have introduced a trio of bills that would severely restrict LGBTQ plus students' rights to privacy. Introduced last Thursday, a pattern after Florida's Don't Say Gay bill legislation, House Bill 1608 would ban discussions of gender fluidity, gender roles, gender stereotypes, gender identity, gender expression, or sexual orientation at the kindergarten through third grade levels. Should be like throughout all of like schools, but I guess this is a start. Definitely don't need to be talking about it to 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds, but you know, whatever. If they can get this passed, okay. Senate Bill 413, introduced the same day, would go so far as to ban mentions of LGBTQ plus people in classrooms up to the 12th grade level. Okay, there's a start. The bill would also bar schools from establishing policies that would prevent parents from accessing their students' records, and policies that would ban teachers from informing parents about their students' social, emotional, behavioral, mental, or physical health. Yeah, none of that sounds like a problem to me. How about you?
No, I'm cool with it.
Send it through. Now
I'll vote for it.
let's see how they explain it going forward. Although that language may sound vague, it's been used in legislation filed in other states to develop policies that would effectively force schools to out students to their parents if a student discloses their sexual orientation or gender identity to a teacher or a counselor. You know, they want to keep it private if, you know, kids are talking to teachers and counselors about sex.
What happened to talking to your parents about sex?
Well, you know, there's a lot of parents that are hateful bigots, and, you know, the school has to be that safe zone for them because none of them are weirdos. So, in the Indiana bill, that provision would also specifically require teachers to inform parents if a child is permitted to use a gendered bathroom that differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. You know, because they want boys going in the girls' bathroom and girls going in the boys' bathroom and all that fun stuff. And while the House bill does not explicitly give parents the option to sue a school district for violating the law, the Senate bill does. Indeed, SB 354 makes this mandatory outing policy more explicit elsewhere in the text. The proposed legislation would require schools to notify parents if a student has conflicting feelings about gender identity, or if they change their name, attire, or pronoun in a manner that is inconsistent with the student's biological sex at birth. Schools would need to disclose that information to parents within 10 days. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
There, I found it. What is going on over here? Can we please not? Jeez. However, not all Indiana lawmakers are making it their mission to attack trans kids. Attack trans kids. The way these people's word this shit. SB 39, introduced earlier this month, would extend the state's anti-discrimination education statute to protect students based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Because, that's an important part of school that kids need to be discussing with weird purple hair.
Negative.
No. These people said so.
No.
They said
Negative.
so. But they
I
said
don't care. Negative. Absolutely not.
we disavow it all.
Sex orientation has no place being in schools, and sexual identity is not a thing to me. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, gender was a made-up word coined by a sick pedophile named John Money. Go look it up. But yeah, that's what's going on in Indiana. Because I was really hoping that like our Republicans, because I don't really like Republicans. I think most of them are spineless cowards who just want to like save face for their political careers so they could stay in a position of power and all that stuff. So there's a large majority of Republicans that I just don't like. And I was honestly surprised to hear that they were actually going to start doing something and, putting a stop
They need
to
to do it. They need to look at California.
California.
Start in California.
California just needs to fall off into the ocean.
I've been saying it's going to with one good earthquake, but I'm still waiting.
But here, I saw this and I showed Charlie this, but I'm going to show you guys that you have to ask why they want to put this into our schools. Indoctrination, and they want to lower the birth rates even further than they already are. Because, gay people can't have kids. And our birth rates are already at 1.65, I believe, which is under the replacement rate. Well, it's all gay. I don't gay, trans, queer, bi. It's all gay.
It's all gay.
It's all gay. But hey, let's hear what Trump has to say, because he just came out with a little speech, and we're going to go ahead and listen to it because I was happy to hear this. Make America great again.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures, and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parent's consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
Text Trump to 80-2022.
So, I agree with most of everything that he's saying in there. The only thing that I disagree was that part at the end where he's like, nobody's ever heard of this. No, I've gone through episodes before explaining how this is not a new concept. It's just gaining.
I understand it's not a new concept, but I see where he's coming from, because if you'd have asked me 10 years ago if we'd have been debating transgenderizing or fucking, all this crazy ass shit, I'd have been like, hell no. Hell, if you'd have asked me when I was in school, a teenager, which is only like 20 some years ago, I'd have been like, no. No.
But I mean, people.
What the? You're talking about cutting your shit off? What?
What? But I mean, people do need to understand that this isn't a new concept. I mean, they like everything that we're dealing with right now is because of things that have happened in the past. People were trying to fight from gaining traction the way that it has, because it's just been like a snowball effect that these people have been working on this for decades trying to get this stuff to happen, because they're all crazy witches and devil worshippers and all that stuff. But all right.
That's some crazy shit, man. I could not fathom for anything cutting my dick off. Ever. For anything. Life ain't that bad, bro.
What magic wand do you have?
Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about this Chinese spy balloon, because that was pretty crazy. We actually have a visual of the balloon, and I want to share it with you. But I want to warn you guys, it's kind of horrifying. So if you have a weak stomach, turn away. I couldn't believe it when I saw this.
Okay.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh! How could you do this to us? I used to watch him as a kid.
For those of you who don't understand the joke there, I hate that I have to explain a joke, but sometimes you do, so people will get it, because some people's heads are really, really thick. But it was an ongoing joke for a long time that angered the Chinese president, dictator, whatever you want to call him. But they were saying that he looks very similar to Winnie the Pooh, and they had like all these pictures of him like transformed as Winnie the Pooh, and I saw that and I was just like, that's wonderful. I love it. So yeah, that's the joke. That's the joke. But let's go ahead and get into the serious topic of it. Let's take a look at somebody who actually spotted the balloon.
Holy crap, y'all. I thought this was a joke, but that joker is right here in Greer. What in the freaking world? I hope one of these backwoods rednecks snipes that thing down. Since our government won't do nothing about it. Wow. Y'all go outside and look.
So, by what determination does he claim that that's a Chinese balloon?
Because China took credit for it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They're saying that it accidentally ended up in our airspace. And
yeah, accidentally traveled across the ocean and
it just happened to be in Montana over some nuclear reactor sites.
So just by happenstance.
Well, let's go ahead and see what our military has to say about it because they released a report about it. Let's go ahead and see what they're saying.
It's a weather balloon.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we'll continue to monitor it. Right now, we assess that it'll probably be over the United States for a few days.
Just a few
but
days.
we'll continue to monitor, review our options, and keep you updated as we can.
That's all they said, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what's been the information that I've gathered so far from people who are keeping an eye on it. But let's go ahead and go over to this wonderful article about it from CBS News. You know, they're always telling us the truth about everything. So, from CBSNews.com, suspected Chinese spy balloon drifting over the U.S. has surveillance part as big as multiple school buses. Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see what they're saying. Oh, it's muted.
Thank you for joining us on this Friday night. Tonight, a life-threatening and brutal Arctic blast of cold air and strong winds are sending temperatures plunging for tens of millions of Americans. We've got our forecast tonight in just a moment. Plus, the other big story tonight, that Marine veteran working as an American aid worker killed in Ukraine in an ambulance while trying to help civilians. Well, tonight we speak with his widow about his...
Why, you're telling me that there's American people over there in the Ukraine war? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Why? I'm not sure if she's gonna like this. This was the video that they said was supposed to be about the balloon. Let's see if they get into it. I don't know. It might just be one of those clickbait things where they're like, "Yeah, we'll make you think we're going to talk about it."
Heroic actions as Russian missiles rain down.
Actions.
But first, all eyes on the sky
There
tonight,
they go.
tracking that Chinese balloon as there are new questions about what the Chinese are spying on. The White House tonight saying it is keeping all options on the table. The Pentagon saying today they don't believe there are any weapons on board. And yet this is another hit to the already strained relationship between the U.S. and China. And now America's top diplomat is postponing a high-profile trip to Beijing just this weekend. We have all angles of this story covered, beginning with CBS's David Martin from the Pentagon.
The Chinese balloon is enormous, carrying a payload of cameras and antennas as big as 2 or 3 school buses.
That's
It is
big.
powered by solar panels and steered by a rudder as the prevailing winds push it eastward across the United States at an altitude of 60,000 feet. China says it's simply a weather balloon that lost its way.
Weather balloon.
But U.S. officials don't believe it.
The fact is, we know that it's a surveillance balloon.
And the reason Secretary of State Blinken canceled his trip to meet with China's President Xi.
I made clear that the presence of this surveillance balloon in U.S. airspace is a clear violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law, that it's an irresponsible act.
It came over the Aleutian Islands and Canada and passed over Montana, where intercontinental ballistic missiles are based. Today, it was spotted over Missouri, where commercial pilots were warned to be on the lookout.
Kansas City Center, good morning, derelict balloon after 11 o'clock.
This thing is weird. Pentagon officials say it carries no weapons and is not likely to pick up any intelligence Chinese satellites haven't already collected in their frequent orbits over the U.S.
Are we certain about that? If we haven't actually captured the asset, if we haven't actually looked at the instrumentation, do we know exactly what we're dealing with?
Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher, chairman of the House Select Committee on China, says the military should have shot it down before it ever reached the lower 48.
Hell yeah, they
We
should
just
have.
have to send a signal that violations of our airspace, violations of our sovereignty like this will not be tolerated, and they'll be met with a strong response.
One official told CBS News President Biden initially wanted to shoot it down, but Pentagon leaders said it was too risky.
Any potential debris field
Shut
would
up
be
and eat your ice
significant,
cream, Mr. President.
and potentially
Okay.
cause civilian injuries or deaths or significant property damage.
The balloon is expected to be over the U.S. for a few more days and then out over the ocean. That will likely be the best chance to, as one official put it, dispose of it when it's safe. Nora?
All right, David Martin with that new reporting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll see. So they're saying that once it gets back over the ocean, because I have heard that is one of the reasons why they haven't shot it down, is because they don't want it falling onto civilians and all that stuff, which
I mean, if you think about it, and it's the size of like 2 or 3 buses, it could cause significant damage. But you can't tell me in Montana you couldn't have found a spot to shoot that bitch down.
True. There's a lot of open spaces over there.
Something is afoot.
So China acknowledged Friday that a high-altitude balloon spotted this weekend over Montana does in fact belong to Beijing. But it referred to the airship as a civilian device used for scientific research such as meteorology.
A weather balloon.
A senior defense official told CBS News on Thursday that the Defense Department was confident that it was, in fact, a Chinese surveillance balloon. The payload of the balloon, that is, the part of the balloon conducting the surveillance, is the size of 2 or 3 school buses. And
so that's that little black part, man, that we're seeing on the bottom of the balloon.
Yep.
So that balloon itself then is fucking massive.
Yeah. The balloon itself is much larger, according to the U.S. official. According to a statement by the Chinese Foreign Ministry, the
airship was affected by the westerly wind, and his ability to control its direction is limited. The statement also says that the balloon seriously deviated from the scheduled route and expressed regret that the airship strayed into the United States due to force majeure. I think that's what that is.
Majeure. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. So yeah, like this balloon is just like, okay, so Friday morning the balloon was no longer over Montana, but had moved over the Midwest. Ooh, how close is it to me? You get that thing?
I don't think your bullet's going to reach 60,000 feet up, so.
You don't know what I got.
I'm not real sure a sniper rifle could hit it from here. Probably not.
No, definitely not.
That's going to have to be a shot down by plane kind of thing.
If only we had our helicopter for the guided tours over the ocean. If only we had that.
I'm more interested in the more sophisticated tours of the space. You know, the atmosphere.
Yeah. We got to get a rocket ship, that way we can give guided tours to the moon. We got to see what's on the dark side of that moon. But yeah, I mean,
we're just going to start a rocket, and then we're just going to jettison you out the front, aiming towards the moon. Hopefully you hit.
Hopefully.
It's a great sight if you do.
Hopefully.
But
yeah, I mean, they got this Chinese balloon that they know has surveillance devices on it, and they're not shooting it down for some reason. I don't know. Some people online have speculated that it's our own balloon, and we're just like trying to shift the blame off to somebody else. And China was just like, "Yeah, sure, we'll take the blame for it. That way we make you
China
guys
jumps on any
incompetent."
claim. There's been I can't think of any like specifically, but there have been cases where they've claimed shit that wasn't actually them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, because I mean, it just seems weird to me that this balloon made it all the way from China over to here. Got past.
And to answer your question, Rick, what would China do if we had a balloon over them? They would shoot it down immediately, regardless of the damage of property, or the chance civilian casualty. They would shoot it down.
Yeah, because they definitely don't care about their citizens. I mean, not to say that our government does either, but that's the excuse that they're using. I don't know. It could be our own balloon. It could be.
Matter of fact, I'd even go as far to say as almost any other country would shoot that down if it came over their territory.
Oh, definitely.
Immediately, except for us. We're just gonna watch it and see where it goes.
Just gonna see what happens.
Pretty balloon.
No doubt. Like, yeah, like, I mean, why the fact that they're not, doing anything about it? And they only noticed it until it was over Montana.
We also know the trajectory of the balloon, which direction it's going, where it's going to fly over, because it's being propelled, we could make advanced plans to blow that damn thing out of the sky and land on U.S. soil with minimal damage.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like I said, Montana, dude. Montana. Mountains and lots of open space.
And Montana was the first place that they noticed that it was there?
Yep. Yep. Something is afoot.
I am skeptical. I think it's our. I honestly think it's our own.
Anymore.
I honestly think it's our own balloon, and like I said, China just took the claim for it just to make us look even more incompetent than we already are. I don't trust it though. I mean, it could be China's balloon. That's just like that's a very, very far distance for that balloon to be traveling to just happen to end up over here.
This is part of the danger with our government being so evasive and elusive and secretive and, speaking in code and shit, because we've come to the point where most people can't fucking trust you.
No.
So like when something serious does happen, it's going to be like it's like the boy who cried wolf story, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You've told us so much bullshit. What's us to lead us to believe you now?
No doubt.
You know what I mean? We can't even believe our own government, dude. Like, it's a scary time.
It's honestly confusing to me when people say that our government want to do anything to jeopardize us.
Yeah. They wouldn't do anything to jeopardize.
They have our best interest in mind. Trust me.
Yeah. The most fictitious words you could ever hear come out of a politician's mouth. Trust me.
Or I'm here to help.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's episode. I ain't got too much else. Covered everything that I pretty much wanted to talk about. The Satanic Temple doing all their fun stuff. Republicans are actually putting some decent bills through this year, so. And the big balloon.
Don't become woke. Just wake up. That's all I ask.
True. And always remember.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
I still picture a big ass vein right in the middle of his forehead whenever he says that.
We can't trust our
push it'd pass out.
We can't trust our government. Agreed. Why are they letting this happen? To increase global efforts. The agenda.
It's all part of a grand plan that we are oblivious to.
Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030.
I thought it was 2032.
No, it's 2030. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Actually, let me see if I got this video. I just thought of this. Shut up.
2034.
I hate you.
I can do this all day. 2035. 2035.
We got to talk about something that I haven't talked about in a while.
Oh God.
One of the biggest reasons why I started doing this, like all the crazy stuff aside that's happening in our world, the biggest thing that surprises me is the fact that they think that they're going to pull this over on people. And honestly, it's working on some people, as you will see. Prepare to be disgusted. They want us to eat bugs, and people are doing it. They're going along with it. Yeah, good. And that thing was alive.
It's very much alive. How did she eat that without getting her tongue bit before she killed it? Look, there's just a pile of them right there. What the fuck? How is it not biting her? How are they not like... Bitch, you about to eat me.
I don't know what she's saying. Is she saying stuff? Oh, speaking of China. Put it in some salsa? Okay, I'm not listening to that. Yeah, dip it in some salsa. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't do it no more. Oh. They want us to eat bugs.
I was going to cook breakfast.
I already ate.
Well, I'm glad I didn't. I might have just threw it up.
Oh my gosh. I want to get lost on Gilligan's Islands. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I would love to find me an island to go live on at this point.
True. Just completely get rid of all technology and just go live primitive. But yeah. Never forget that they want us to eat bugs. Never forget it.
Never forget. Never surrender.
Never forget. Never surrender. But yeah, that's been a fun episode. We're gonna go ahead and run this ad and get on out of here. Couple of Hoosiers podcasts. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, pretty much anywhere that you get your podcasts. We're on Odysee, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute now. And if you want to get everything all in one place, coupleofhoosiers.com. Get the blogs there. Get some memes there. Also, R&M Kurtz Woodworks. Me and my wife have a little woodworking company, and you can find us on Facebook. Take a look at some of the pictures. Get a hold of us if you want us to do something for you. But yeah, this is a live show. We do it every Thursday night and Saturday morning. Times are subjective. I mean, fish all day, bonfire all night, island life. Yeah.
Woo
But
woo.
yeah, remember, biggest
Rick,
thing.
you ever find an island, you let me know. I'll come join you, buddy.
But always remember, biggest thing that you guys could do is share the podcast out. Remember to like. Remember to comment. If you're listening to the audio version, be sure to head over to one of the video channels that we're on. I mean, if you want to just listen to it, I get it. I mean, not everybody has the time to watch a video. Sometimes you need to just listen to it, but we do have a lot of visual.
I completely understand nobody wanting to look at Ricky's face for any length of time. You know, I mean, look at that thing. Oh my goodness. Oh, stop it. Stop it.
But yeah. Always remember that. Just like, share, comment, do all those things that the algorithm loves to get us some views and all this stuff. And go over to Rumble. I want to start live streaming on Rumble, and we need 10 more followers. That's all we need, 10 more. 10 more. So if you're not already following us on Rumble, get over there, create an account, and do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
You know, like Shia LaBeouf would say.
Yeah, that weird
Just
guy.
Do it.
Yeah, he's doing weird stuff now, though. But we're not going to talk about that because we're closing this out, and I want everybody to have a good rest of your weekend. Take it easy. Bye.
Have a good one, guys.